Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today on a Tuesday night. And I promise you that this will be a relatively short session that is not going to take too much of your time. I'm hoping to spend in total about 20-25 minutes on this webinar, depending on, of course, your questions. Should there be more than that, I will, of course, dedicate more time to try and answer them all. But first of all, my name is Val. As Nikita mentioned, I'm District Finance Manager this year, and it is my pleasure to lead the district finances this year and make sure that all of the clubs are well aware of any changes that we've got in terms of finance related or anything else that Toastmasters International are communicating to us, and I need to communicate to our fantastic deck members or treasurers within your clubs that you are part of. In terms of my presentation tonight, as I said, I'll try to keep it short. I'll introduce to you Concur if you've never heard of that and have no idea of what it is. I'll try to explain how this system works. I will walk you through the Concur because for me personally, it works much better when I'm navigating through the system rather than sharing slides with you, because this is how I best learn. However, post this webinar, I'm going to share my slides with some of the screenshots that you might find useful, some of the instructions that might help you when you will be submitting your claims. And as Nikita mentioned, there will be a recording as well for you to go back and watch how the system works. And at the very end, I'm going to take your questions too. However, throughout any time, during this webinar, if you would like to stop me to clarify anything or to ask a question because you do not want to wait until the very end, please feel free to do so. As Nikita mentioned, either use the chat feature and post your questions in there or raise your hand and I will stop and I will be answering and taking your questions as we go along. If that works for everyone, then I would love to begin by, first of all, to make sure that my presentation is relevant to all of you, primarily who are there on their call today. I would like to double check whether the people who are here today are club officers, might be perhaps maybe treasurers. If treasurers can just put your virtual hand up so I can see if you represent a treasurer within your club. Or just use an emoji so I know one person, treasurer, great. More treasurers, no more treasurers, okay. Maybe a VPE within the club. Okay, one VPE, fantastic. Well, two, because I'm a VP of one of the clubs as well. Let's consider two, okay, three. Perfect, and maybe presidents of the club. Okay, a couple of presidents. Anyone who is an area director or division director on the call? No. Okay, no division directors, no area directors, fine. So I will make sure that I'll spend most of my time making this presentation relevant to our clubs, and then at the very end, touch upon some of the features that might be relevant to our lovely deck members, area directors and division directors. Let's dive in. Concur. If you've never heard of this wonderful word, this is the system that Toastmasters International as an organization and of course District 91 uses to be able to process expenses. Any expenses that clubs incur or district incurs, DLT members, district leadership team, or deck members, district executive committee members that are our DLT and area directors and division directors, they use Concur to be able to submit their claims that then come to me as a finance manager for my review to make sure that, for example, your receipts match what you put in terms of the comments, and that you are strictly following the protocols and policies that we have within the district to be able to reimburse you any money that might have come out of your pocket. Because our intention as the district leadership team to support the clubs, to make sure that they operate functionally and successfully, and when they incur any costs that are related to their education journey, for example, for everyone on the call today, that would be relevant in terms of the incentives. So hopefully you will be motivated even more to win some of the incentives that we've got in store for you this year, and to be able to claim those vouchers back and to actually spend the money that your club genuinely won towards some of your perhaps educational goals that you have within the club. So Concur is the system that we use to be able to do so. Funnily enough, while I was preparing my presentation, our lovely team at Concur and SAP decided to upgrade the interface. Therefore, what we see in some of the screenshots is the latest version of the Concur as an app or as a website that we are using. Therefore, most of those screenshots have been updated. They're up to date as of yesterday, just to make sure that it could be easy for you to navigate with the new interface, because there have been a number of different changes from the previous versions that they used before. As club representatives, by default, you will not have login details to Concur system. So regardless whether you're a treasurer, club president, or a VPE, we do not create Concur details unless clubs really need to use them. The reason being is because most of the time, the club committee change every single year, and we need to maintain some security around the systems that we use. And some of the users that we might not be aware of, who might be logging in but have no such authority to do so because they do not serve on the committee, we try to limit the number of login details and credentials that are available within the district. So for some of you who might be new to that, or who might be new to the role of treasurer, for example, because Concur is a system that most of the times treasurers use, because they are the guys who are maintaining and managing the club's money, will be having access to that. If at any point in time, and also just to simplify your life as well, why would you need login details to the systems that you might never use throughout your year, right? It's good to know how the system looks like, and of course, hopefully might be a little bit of a motivating factor for you to satisfy your curiosity to try and work hard as a club to win those incentives and to be able to log in and see what the system has to offer. Therefore, if your clubs incur any expenses that are related to the incentives that you hopefully will win throughout the year, I will then be notified, and I will grant you access and login details to be able to actually log into the system. Once you have those details, they're actually quite simple. To be able to sign in, and again, as I said, I'll do a walkthrough, so you're not only going to be looking at some of the screenshots that I prepared for you, but also to the actual system. Your sign-in details will be your membership ID, followed by @toastmasters.org. And we need to make sure that your membership ID, if you do not have 7 digits, you need to put a 0 in front of the first digits that you've got within your membership. Again, my membership is a great membership number is a great example, so I'm going to show you how it works. And you will be provided with a temporary password as well, which I highly encourage you to change once you receive those login details, or if you rather receive those login details, to be able to maintain some security within the account. There are 3 main things that you need to update once you're logged into the system. That would be your name and contact details, so that I'm able to communicate with you through the system. And if I personally have any questions about your claims, or you might have not followed the protocols accordingly, I might be able to go back to you and mention to you what is not within my expectations per se, and in hope to give you more details and explanation, and for you just to fill the gaps, resubmit everything, and send back to me. Therefore, I need your name and I need your contact details. Another important setting for you to be aware of is, of course, your bank information and home address, because if you spend the money and you want the money to be reimbursed, then I need to know your bank details. It's as simple as that. And the other settings are not mandatory, but good to have. By default, Concur uses the American style system in terms of date, time, format, and the American English. If you would love to be a little bit more, or if you would like the interface to be a little bit more personalized, then you are able to change the date, time, format, play around with the system should you wish to do so. This option is, of course, available to you as well. And in terms of the main things that I'm going to mention, and then I'm going to do the walkthrough for you, how to claim the Concur expenses. This is to make sure that myself and our auditors, both that we've got within the district and external, that will be looking into our expenses and revenues that we get through the year, that they're quite clear in terms of how to do their auditing process. Therefore, when you submit your claims, I would love to point out that the most important thing to note is when you start your claims or start your report at the top. So ignore all of those screenshots. As I say, I'm going to walk you through and you'll see in real time how all of these things work. But please, please, please make sure that your report name follows particular format. That format is your initials at the front. So example here are mine, VS. Then D91 to signify the districts that these expenses are relevant to. Then you would need to put the year and the month. So I gave an example, 2023-10. So for example, I had an expense within this month of October, and comments. So for me, for example, Division X contest. We don't have Division X, but that's just for you to see how the report name or the claim name should look like, so that when it comes to me, and if it doesn't follow this format, it will be sent back to you. Because me, as a finance manager and the manager of the Concur system, I'm not able to update the name of your reports. I don't have those rights on the back end. Therefore, it should be your duty and due diligence to make sure that you create the name of the report in that particular format. Once you created this name of the report, you will be able to add every single claims that you might have incurred, for example, for the month of October. For you, as you represent the clubs, the main claim that you will be making for is for the incentives that you won. To give you an example, there are a number of different incentives. For example, there are incentives where you are going to win, let's say, £50. £50 that you are going to spend on some pins or ribbons or any educational materials that you would love to get for your club. Or maybe you would like to be a little bit generous to your attendees and you would like to order some pizzas. That's allowed too, to celebrate your achievements, you winning this particular incentive. As you are dealing with, I don't know, Pizza Express, Deliveroo, whatever that might be, I would love to ask you to please maintain your receipts. Make sure that you get receipts and your claims or every single claims that you're making has a receipt attached to it. If there are no receipts within the claims, they are automatically going to be rejected and sent back to you unless the receipt will be reattached and be sent back to me. Again, very simple rule. No receipts if the claim doesn't go through any further process of approval. Please note, if you decide to indulge your club with some food and some drinks, the alcoholic beverages are not reimbursable. Therefore, if you won a voucher for £50 and you would like to go and splash the cash, you're allowed to do so on food items and soft drinks. If there are any particular items on the receipts that represent alcoholic beverages, they will not be reimbursed for. I know it could be quite frustrating, but I would like to remind everyone we are serving a non-for-profit organization. We've got rather strict auditing rules that we need to go through as well. And I would love to highly encourage you, should you want to have a glass of wine or a beer, you're more than welcome to do that, but at your own expense. Anything food-related, drinks-related should be soft drinks, and food, please go crazy. However you would like to go with £50 vouchers, that's hopefully you're going to win throughout our incentives vouchers that we are going to send to you throughout the year. Also, a very important note, all of the receipts and your claims must be made and submitted through the system within 30 days of spend. Therefore, if I spend some money, let's say on the 1st of October, I need to make sure that I log into Concur system and create a report, submit, attach my receipt, provide the explanation, and send it to me through the Concur by 31st of October. And I understand sometimes we lose track of time and we might forget things like that. So on exceptional occasions, I'll try to understand why you have not made it within 30 days limits that we are being given by Toastmasters International, and that I would love for you to follow as one of the rules as well from your finance manager. But if there is no particular reason, or let's say serious reason, why this limit or these 30 days haven't been reached, then I would be very sorry, but I'll have to reject the claim and it is not going to be reimbursed. It's in your interest to make sure that all of the claims are being submitted within 30 days time, please. 30 days, just remember this magic number. If it goes beyond 30 days, please, please, please do not be upset with me. I warned you, I would love for us to follow some rules, some of the exceptional circumstances, completely understand that, but please stick to it as a rule of thumb, 30 days for you to submit the receipts. There is also a Concur online training video available from our lovely world headquarters that you can watch. However, they haven't updated it since they updated the interface of Concur as of last week. So there might be, you might see or face some of the changes in terms of the interface, but should this training not be sufficient, there is also a link to World Headquarters trainings that they provide as well to ourselves working in finance, but also to the clubs as well. Since I promised to do the live demo, so I'm going to switch my screen and I'm going to share with you how the actual system works, so that there are no doubts and no questions about that. So first of all, as I mentioned, your credentials, the most important thing is your member ID. Hopefully you all know how to find your member ID. If you do not, please let me know and I'll point you to the right direction. But your member ID usually consists of 7 digits. So it depends, obviously, how your member ID starts. But if it does consist of 7 digits, we need to make sure that it is 8 for the login for Concur. And therefore, mine consists of 7 digits. I had to add 0 at the beginning of my actual member number to make it 8. So if your membership ID is less than 8 digits, so please add 0 at the front, and then it's going to be at toastmasters.org. Once you put your member ID and at toastmasters.org, you go to next. You're then going to put your password. As I said, there will be a temporary password for you, and I highly encourage you to change it as soon as you log in. My interface might look slightly different to yours because obviously I've got a bit of advanced settings as a finance manager, but not too much. So that's why I think it will still be quite useful for you to see where to go. This is how the interface looks like. This is called home page. You have at the top right corner, you will see your initials. This is your profile. If you click on this icon, it gives you the profile settings. So this is a profile, 3 main profile settings that I was talking about. In terms of your profile options, as I mentioned, the most important things to update is your personal information. So you click within personal information, quite self-explanatory. Make sure if you want to add titles, please do so. Your phone number that needs to be there. And at the bottom, very important, your email address. Please use your Toastmasters. I would encourage you to use your Toastmasters international email address that you use for communication. If you want to add any other address, you're more than welcome to do so. Should you wish to separate, you are welcome to do that. However, please make sure that you verify your email address. There is a fantastic link in actual systems that they edit, which actually tells you how to verify your address. So once you edit, there will be an option to verify it. You click on it, and then the verification email is being sent to your email address. You follow the link, it gets accepted, it gets verified, you're all set to go. You need to make sure that this fantastic green tick box with the word verified is in your profile, because if it's not going to work. So please make sure you check that your email address is clearly edited and verified by Concur system. That's a setting number one. Number two is your bank information. Obviously, I'm not going to go into it because it contains some sensitive personal data, but I can reassure you that the details that you need to provide for your bank information are your account number, your sort code, the address of your bank branch that you are registered with, and that's pretty much it, nothing else. Once you add your bank information there, you can go to system settings. And this is the ones that I said you can play around should you wish to. You can change the way how your data format looks like, timings, etc. So please feel free to update anything that you might find useful. Every single time you update something in a Concur system, make sure that you hit this blue button save. Because if you do not click on it, then none of your changes are going to be visible or are going to be made. So save every single time you update any personal details. This is with regards to how to set up your Concur as a system. Going back to the homepage, once you're all set up, you're all logged in, you all see the homepage here. Great. How do we start to claim our money back? This is what we're here for. You click on this plus button, which says Start a Report. So you click on it. And again, I apologize if it's very simplistic and it's quite self-explanatory. It probably is. But just to avoid any doubt, I want to make sure that we all are on the same page. So if it's very clear to you, then perfect. You don't really need to, my job here is done. For the rest of you, report name, as I mentioned, we do not forget to put our initials. We do not forget to put D91. Then we have hyphen, and you put the year, the months, and then comments in terms of what you're claiming for. For you, most likely it would be net 10 incentives, for example. You see, this is the date of the report, which is by default. You don't really need to leave any comments. You click on the button Create Report. Your report is being created for you in the system. And now that you've got the report, you are able to start adding your expenses, what you spent your money on. So once you click on this button, Add Expense, it pops up or pulls up a list of different expenses for you that you can choose from. Basically, if you decided to buy some of the awards or badges or pins for your club as one, or educational materials, whatever that might be that you spend your money on, please feel free to use those as relevant, because this is how it's going to work for you, and the amount or the list of different items that might be useful to you. So for example, if you are going to spend your money, let's say on educational materials, you chose that, there is a particular code, you put a transaction date. Transaction date is the date that you see on your receipt. That's the most important thing for you. Yes, the recording from today's session, as Nikita mentioned, will be published on our website, and we'll make sure to send a follow-up email as well with a link to the recording as well. So we will make sure that this is being communicated. So transaction date is the date when you incurred your expense. So for example, if you bought anything from TMI website on the 5th of October and the date on your receipt is the 5th of October, please use 5th of October. Business purpose. So business purpose is your explanation to me what you mean by educational materials. So for example, you bought some, I don't know, TMI leaflets, whatever that might be. whatever you spend your money on. Event vendor, enter vendor name. That's not compulsory field. Good if you can enter this. That's perfect. Some of the items that you're claiming for, the system asks you for the city of purchase, mainly because of VAT, VAT reasons. It's as simple as that. So most of you are probably based somewhere in the UK. So if it's London, for me, most of the times will be something that I bought at London. If it's somewhere else, then please put whatever city or place you bought those items from. There is a long list of items that you can choose from. Payment type will always be cash or out of pocket. You enter amount. Since we are in the UK, and unless you use the TMI websites, the amount should be in pounds. It is here by default for you. But if it's in dollars, then please make sure you change the currency. Reporting code, another one which is quite important to remember as well. There are plenty, as you will be able to see, and maybe I see even more than you will be able to see, because I'm a district finance manager, so it gives me plenty of various options in terms of what I can spend my money on. For you, the most important one will probably be club growth, membership growth. So if you want an incentive because you managed to grow your numbers, in terms of your members within the club, or probably membership retention, because you made sure that you maintain the base of your members. And for that reason, we wanted to award you an incentive and send you a voucher for that. So those two will probably be most likely relevant for you to use as a reporting code as well. In terms of subsidiary, this one for you will most likely be, because it's incentives, it will be district, because district sends you the vouchers and districts grants you those incentives. So subsidiary, mainly for purposes of the clubs, will always be district. District 91 is here for the default, by the default. And if you want to add any commentary, for example, if something is unclear on the receipt, please feel free to use comments section to do that. On the right-hand side, there is already a button for you to add your receipt. So receipts are being accepted in all of those different formats, but please make sure that the receipts are not blurry. The receipts do not look like they've been stored in your pocket for quite a while, and the amount is not particularly visible, because I will be questioned, and I'm only saying that because I had those occasions already this year where some of the receipts that were attached to the claim, first of all, you cannot see the vendor, what the money was spent on. And second of all, I cannot see the amount as well, what it was spent on, or the date. So for me, I will be questioned by our auditors. So to avoid any doubt for me, for you, please make sure that your receipts are clear and visible. And the most important things for me to see is obviously the amount, what is the money being spent on, and the date of the receipts, that it matches your claim. Once you have done all of that, you are welcome to basically submit your expense, your claim. And another thing, event period, this field is a little bit irritating for Concur system. Usually by default, the option should be not applicable, because it will not give you the option to choose which period of time you claim this for. I'm not sure why it's there, but it's just a bit of a faulty field, let's say, from the Concur system. So please make sure, just put NA, and that's absolutely fine. Once you completed all of this, your receipt is attached. I don't have anything to attach, but as I said, it's quite simple. Attach, upload your receipt, it loads in here, and then you complete the transaction. You save your expense. Your entry is being saved. It takes a bit of time to see that. You make sure that you check that you've got the date, you've got the correct amounts that you're claiming for, and once you're ready, you hit the button Submit Report. It is going to ask you that everything is accurate, and you are confirming this, that information you're providing is legitimate, and you accept those terms and conditions. You continue. It will show you this confirmation screen one more time to make sure this is the amount of money that you are claiming from the district to be paid back to you. And if everything is correct, you hit Submit Report. Obviously, I put 0 because I'm not claiming anything. It's a test. And it shows you report submitted. So great news, everything is submitted, and you are able to see here, you will not be able to see as many details as I'm seeing here, but in your homepage, you'll be able to see the status of your report. So currently it says submitted. And for me, if I submit my expenses as a finance manager, please don't be fooled. I cannot approve my own expenses, even so I've got all of the power to manage your expenses. My expenses should be approved by our PQD. So Steve should be approving any expenses I'm incurring before I'm being reimbursed anything. So do not worry. We've got protocols for everyone. Your fellow finance manager follows those protocols too, quite diligently. Therefore, you'll be able to see the status of your report of your claim. Currently, it's submitted. It usually would arrive to me. I will receive an email saying someone submitted this report. I will log into Concur to be able to see what is happening. And if everything is perfect, I'll click approved, and you'll receive a notification that your report or claim has been approved. So you can log back into Concur to see the status of your claim, or you are going to receive automated emails as well to say what's happening with your claim. Once it's approved, there are two approvers that are doing that. So for you, it's going to be myself as the first approver, and then the second one is our district director, Diane. If we are both happy with your claims, it's all approved and is being sent to the Toastmasters International headquarters, then their finance manager approves it, and then the claim is being reimbursed and paid back into your bank account. Therefore, please make sure bank account details are correct, and we are able to send you money back. How long would you take to approve reports? In case we need to amend the report as per your request, should be within the 30 days limit. I am checking Concur. You will not believe that, but it is my job as a finance manager to check it every single day. Therefore, I allocate some time at the end of my day to check Concur claims. So if I see the report, something new comes in today, I am going to check it straight away. If I have any questions, then you'll receive a notification that the report has been sent to you, and I'll leave comments to say what needs to be changed if it doesn't look ideal to me. Once I send the comments back, there is no really 30 days limit to it, of course, because it's in your interest, hopefully, to get the money back. You will respond to me quite quickly. If you do not respond to me, I usually send a reminder to say that you were hoping to submit the claim. However, there have been a number of questions, and I would love for you to clarify for me what have you spent your money on? Could you please provide these details? Should you provide those details quite quickly? I'm happy with those details. I click approve, and everything is being approved relatively quickly. So if the question in terms of my approval time, every single day. Any claim comes in today, it's going to be reviewed and hopefully approved by the end of the day. The second approver, which is Diane, she is also quite good in terms of approving claims. It also probably takes about a day or two to do that. And once it goes to Toastmasters International, it could be a little bit longer just because of the size of the organization and the number of people that they have to manage. But to get the time between you submitting the claim and you receiving the money back, it depends, but I would say up to 2 weeks. 2 weeks time is for you to get back your money that you are claiming. So I would say 2 weeks is probably a fair amount of time to say that the money should be back to your bank account. If they're not, then of course you're welcome to email me, get in touch with me and double check what is happening. But usually in terms of reimbursing our members their money, TMI are really good at doing that if we do our due diligence. So that's it, really, with the Concur as a system. It's as simple, hopefully, as you've seen it. All you need to do, get your login details if you won an incentive, an award, and you would love to claim it back. Update your personal details so we can make sure that the right amount of money and the right means of communication are being used to reach out to you. And then just follow the rules. 30 days to submit your claim. Make sure that your report name has your initials, D91 year, months, dash explanation, what you are claiming the money for. And as a side note, I would say in terms of a couple of other things that are probably quite important for you to remember, and I'm not going to touch upon things that are relevant to our area and division directors because they're not quite relevant to you. You will not incur such expenses. But if any expenses, for example, our area directors or division directors, because they are holding the contests and getting the venues, for example, and they have quite substantial expenses. So if their expenses are over £350, they must get a pre-approval from me as a finance manager to be able to spend that much amount of money, because I would need to understand why so much money is going to be spent, for what reason. And before making any payments or signing any contracts, they must notify their finance manager that their expense will be over £350. Another important thing to add, especially in terms of some of those incentives claims that I mentioned to you, and hopefully you'll start getting those throughout the year, because it is quite an exciting thing for you to look forward to, and to be able to basically celebrate as a club, something that you've done particularly well. Once you receive your incentives, you can, if it's easier for you to have your treasurer getting the login details and claiming those expenses on their behalf, you're welcome to do that. If you would like to do it through your area director, because all area directors and division directors by default have login details to Concur, mainly because they are incurring different expenses apart from incentives throughout the year. So all area directors, division directors, they have login details. So if you cannot be bothered with everything that I showed you today, hopefully that's not the case, but if you do not have time for Concur and you would like for your area director to claim for you, for them to incur the expense, pay, and then get reimbursed, there is an option for you to do that as well. So hopefully you're in good relationship with your area director and can reach out to them to do that. If you wish to go through the treasurer route and as a club to get reimbursed, once you receive the fantastic email to say, congratulations, you won the incentive vouchers and it is £50, please find your voucher attached. What you need to do before spending any money, even £50, and I know it sounds very petty, but we have to follow certain protocols, as I mentioned. I need to receive an email, so please send an email to the finance manager to state how you're going to spend those £50. For example, you would like to allocate this amount to your Zoom subscription, or you would like to allocate some of this money, £50, to your venue hire, whatever it is. I just need a simple email to say that we want the voucher, we would like to spend £50 on XYZ. Once I receive the email, I respond to you to say, perfect, that is approved, please go ahead. This email approval from my side, you need to PDF it or just save it, as to speak. And when you're going to claim your money back, however you spend it, based on the emails that you sent, and follow all of the steps that I mentioned to you today in terms of creating, the claim, uploading your receipt. Apart from the receipt, I need you to attach the PDF of the email where I said that your expense has been approved. That's a very important step that was missed a number of times last year or at the end of last year, where I unfortunately had to return back those claims to clubs to say the email is missing, the email approval is missing. Please attach the email. So apart from the receipt, please make sure to attach the PDF of the email that I will send to you to say that everything is approved. And of course, the voucher as well, the voucher itself. So 3 attachments in total: the voucher, PDF of the email, and the receipt in terms of how you spend your money. So this is the most important things that you as club committee members should be aware of when using Concur. I've talked a lot and I covered a number of important things in my view for our club members. But if you do have any questions, it is the time to ask now. To ask now or never. I'm joking. I'm of course available anytime if there are any questions throughout the year. But yeah, if there are any immediate questions regarding or related to Concur, to Toastmasters too, but to Concur or incentives, I'm happy to take them. Common, you are number one, and then I'm gonna go to our chat. Yes, so you are, as a club committee, the expenses that are relevant to you are those vouchers. And yes, correct, you will receive those vouchers based on the incentives program. So for example, if you manage to get 8 new members, fantastic, you're automatically going to receive a voucher from us to say thank you so much for helping us to spread the Toastmasters as an organization to our lovely new members. So yes, on that occasion, that's correct. And Concur system is to be used once you are doing your expenses. So you want a voucher, you send me an email to say, I would love to spend those £50 as part of our Zoom subscription. Would that be okay? I send an email back saying, yes, absolutely. Please go ahead. This is approved. So you are obviously purchasing Zoom subscription, for example, and these receipts that you receive from Zoom, you attach to your claim in Concur together with my email saying that it has been approved. So I know we had this communication. Our auditors know that you spend this money on Zoom subscription because I told you that it is allowed to happen. So yes, that's correct. This is what you're spending or using the Concur for. Okay, I'll go to chat. I'd like to know if you can claim in the same way money my club spent to pay for room hire for humorous speeches contest on area level. My club covered all as clubs didn't contribute yet. So if this is in terms of if you are asking this question, Ursula, I would assume you are on the club committee, you are not area director or division director. So in terms of money being cut down, it's partially true, partially not so much, but for a number of years now, especially since we are back from COVID and trying to go back to in-person meetings more and in-person contest, or rather hybrid at the moment, area contests, our lovely area directors do not have budget to cover for area contests. There are a number of reasons for that, and I'm not going to go into too many details in terms of those reasons because it's a very sensitive subject for everyone. But the fact is, area directors are not allowed to spend any money on area contests. They've been highly encouraged to ask clubs to host at their own venue. As you said, the usual venue is not available. Totally understandable. Or we asked them or suggested that they can charge some of the attendees who will be present there, of course not volunteers, but people who will be coming to support their members, to charge them a small fee to be able to cover those costs for the venue, as you said, £95. In your case in particular, the answer will be the club will not be reimbursed for the venue hire just because of the policy in terms of area contests, and we cannot do much about it. For now, that's how it is. However, I would highly encourage you to be in touch with other clubs and ask them to contribute financially, because you should not be incurring other clubs' costs because it's an area contest. If they decided not to participate or if they do not like the format that's up to them. But on the area level, they have to understand that it should be quite equal in terms of financial contributions too. So the club will not be reimbursed for the hire of the venue for the area contest, but you're encouraged to speak with other clubs to get money back in that way. That's just a policy. I'm taking it on. I haven't created it. It's been said for a couple of years now. Might be revisited next year, the following year. I'm not quite sure. But as it stands, area contests are not claimable, unfortunately. Okay, next question. As a DC meeting in September, it was stated that incentives for open house meetings would be reinstated this year. Do we have any details on the incentives? So open house incentives, I will defer to our club growth director, Mo Davodo, who is in charge of our incentives this year. And I will make sure that he communicates which incentives will be available for everyone this year and which will not by the end of the month. He is finalizing everything as we speak. So hopefully by the end of the month, you're going to get confirmation on which incentives, including open house, will be available to all of the clubs. Do you have a dedicated email address to let you know how I'd like to allocate the money? Yes, great question. I have a dedicated email address, actually two. One is finance@d91toastmasters.org.uk that you are very welcome to use. And I'm going to post this into the chat for everyone. And then the personal email address, which the only difference to the other one is my name at the front. So the other one is Valerija at d91toastmasters.org.uk. So you're welcome to use either of those should you wish to get in touch to clarify anything not necessarily Concur related. And in terms of manual to say what you can spend money on, yes, but I will share these documents in an email with you, not a document, but a bit of a summary what you can spend your money on as clubs, so it's quite clear to you as well. Any other questions? And on your voucher, there will be a line which says voucher valid until, and you will get the actual, usually it's probably the end of the month, so it gives you number of weeks to be able to claim this voucher, but there will be an expiry date on the voucher, like on any vouchers that you buy, for example, in, I don't know, gift vouchers or anything like that. So your incentive voucher will have an expiry date on it too. Again, I use a bit of a common sense, right? There is a policy and there are protocols where, as I said, I would love for everyone to stick to 30 days limit in terms of claiming the money back, because it's easier for me when I'm doing my reporting at the end of the month. It's easier for our internal and external auditors. However, on case-by-case basis, we can, of course, review why someone has not submitted something within 30 days. And there is no hard stop for me to say, okay, it's 31 days. I'm not going to reimburse you now just because I want to be very difficult and I've got all of the power. No, but we will, of course, review on case-by-case basis why the voucher hasn't been claimed on time, for example, and it's going to expire soon, or why the claim is outstanding for over 30 days. But as a rule of thumb, as I say, 30 days for claiming your expenses. Vouchers, you'll have an expiry date on it. So if you could please stick to it, that's amazing. If you need, for example, your Zoom subscription ends in the month of, I don't know, December, and you need to renew it in January, but you want the voucher, and I'm making it up, but as an example, at the expiry date, it says, please use it by the end of December, and you're telling me you need to pay it in January. Of course, I will make sure that you're able to pay it in January. I'm not going to say you cannot do that. I'm going to send it to you. So the passwords, I'm going to create the credentials if you don't have them. So I'm going to send you your passwords, your temporary passwords that I will send in an email, ask you to change. If there are no more questions on Concur, I hope you will get to use the system because I'm hoping to see lots of clubs winning some of the vouchers. If there are any issues with Concur, something is still unclear, please reach out. If you have any questions finance related to your clubs, district, area, division, please reach out. If you cannot find any information anywhere on the website, please reach out. There are two email addresses that I shared with you. Please use, but do not abuse them, if possible. If I do not get back to you too quickly, or not meeting your timeline, please feel free to nudge me. And I do not mind that at all. But usually, as soon as I see any emails, any Concur claims, I check them daily. So I try to make sure that I get back with a response to you immediately if I do not have a response myself, because guess what? As a finance manager, I do not have answers to all of the questions, even related to finance. I will go and find it out for you. So the highlight here is, please reach out if something is unclear. Please ask, please challenge, and please feedback as well. We're always here to hear your feedback too. Okay, well, on that note, I will probably bring this webinar to a close. Once again, thank you so much for taking time out of your Tuesday evening to walk through the amazing system of Concur. Hopefully no glitches, no issues, no challenges, because I've just showed you everything works perfectly well. And guess what? When you have to use it, bam, it crashes and nothing is working. Hopefully we're not gonna see that. But if you do, as I say, please reach out. I'm here, happy to help as and when needed. And if something still needs some clarity or details, as I say, do let me know. And I would like to wish you a wonderful rest of your evening. Whatever you decide to do, I might reconsider the option of going and having that glass of wine. Maybe not, maybe should wait until Friday. Need to go and do my own Concur expenses now. But as I say, have a lovely rest of your week, whatever you do. And hopefully see you again on some other Toastmasters events, contests, activities, and looking forward to receiving all of those incentive vouchers and claims that you're going to make as the year goes along, and we will confirm all of the list of the incentives that's available to all of the clubs by the end of the month. That's our promise to you.